How is everybody? What's going on? I want to talk about numbers. We're going to talk about number one, and then I'm going to try to understand a GG33 and I'm hoping that I'm allowed to use part of his work. But first, I want to tell you why I'm a lucky person, and I want to thank God for this. Is that I got so much on my desk, wires and everything, and then I'm drinking my coffee. And I spill my coffee at least 2 or 3 times. I was lucky this time that it did not spill on any of my paperwork. But I spilled my coffee on my desk. I had to clean it, so I get to clean my desk. I go, hey, that's great. Starship Enterprise, SS Enterprise. S is usually at the end of the word for plural. Aries, Pisces, Taurus. But what happens when it starts with an S? Does it mean it's less than? And it's the same thing because the S looks like a 5 when you put the 1 before the 5 or the V, and V is for life, it becomes a 4, right? Just want to see what else I got over here. Free flow energy. So what I want to talk about right now, I want to talk about number one and the intricacy of its reality. And the intricacy of its reality is, they say the male energy, aggressive, competitive, naturally more muscular and athletic build, one-track minds, high sex drive, mid-range on intelligent levels, like the fight, a debate. You know, once you take a stance to something, right? Once you take a stance to something, and where was this found? Normally this is found by taking the law of averages, okay? Now we're talking about 1. Now we're not talking about what we're going to add to this, because what we add to this, okay, is where do we get the life path 1? You take the year you were born, and then once you take the year you were born, let's say you're born in the year of the rabbit. Okay, now I'm born in the year of the rabbit, and I'm a Libra. So what are rabbits like in general? So we're going to go to what rabbits are like, what the Chinese zodiac says to what the tendencies of rabbits are. Where do we find these tendencies? We go right to the rabbit, we study the rabbit, then we study all those born in that year. And then we have 12 months to divide that year up into, right? The 12 zodiac signs. It's really funny that we have the 12 zodiac signs that fit into the 13 moons. So if we have 12 zodiac signs fitting into the 13 moons, so we got 12 zodiac signs, 13 moons, everything's run on 13. So is our first problem beginning with that 13 moons? And now we're running 365.25 days. Now according to this calculator, if everything is perfect, we should be running 365.47, where 0.22 seems to be lost to the clock, where possibly 0.2 is lost into the gear system itself. There's always a slight movement, right, between every single gear. Maybe that's where we're losing this 0.22. But we only have 364. So should we be working every single year minus 1.25 days? 1.25 days. So in 4 years, we have 5 days. So we have 5 days. We have 120 hours. So if we lose 5 days every 4 years, right? Then every 70, I'm trying to think of it, every 72 years, give me a second. Every 72 years, okay, that'll be a loss of 360 days. We will lose 360 days in 72 years. We will lose 1 round. But if we base everything off of 360 degrees and we're running our clock at 365.25 days, that means we have 5.25 days that we're using up too much of. Or if we run off the 13 moons, we have 4 days a year. So we have to calculate these 4 days a year, because 13 moons it runs in to exactly 364. So we're losing or we're gaining, or we have too much on 360 degrees, and it might be that it's 364 degrees. Now, are we talking about the thickness? Remember, if we're going to round, is it the fine line? What is the size of the fine line? And 4 happens to be the base number, most likely for the separation and gaps between numbers. We have 1, then we have 2, 3, 4, then we have 5, then we have 6, 7, and 8. Okay, then we have 9, and then we have 10, 11, and 12. So what happens? Let me show you.